How you going, people? This is interesting in Dallas. Dallas is pretty much a left-wing Sacramento, Seattle. If you name any liberal left-wing craphole city, Dallas fits right in there. The last DA took the fifth, facing federal charges. The assistant mayor just got 52 months for embezzling $500 million from the taxpayers. They're broke. They always got no money. They're always looking for more ways. They're complaining the property taxes ain't high enough. They want more money. And, yet they have 600 grand to take down statues because of social justice. So Dallas Morning News did an article, and they're a left-wing paper. They're obviously going to put these bold moves by, they're going to blow this guy up. This is a newly elected DA, used to be a judge, and he is all about how he can fix all the right wrongs with all the mean people treating the poor minorities bad. So here was the press release letter he did. So in his press release letter, and I did a FOIA request for the complete letter because this is just what they gave to the paper and stuff. Data-driven reform policies. Now these wordings are going to sound really nice, but I'm going to give you an insight from being in the DA's office and being a cop out on the road dealing with ignorance like this. And then as a citizen, you ought to be nervous. But anyway, you can make your own decision. I'm going to put out my opinion on why this is such a bad move. Data-driven reform policy implement will help our system more fair and just. When you hear these words from government, that means they're manipulating something in order to gain something. But fair and just for everyone, not everyone, the people that they think are important. Minorities, illegals, poor people, people who don't have jobs, homeless people who are crapping in the streets. This is their everyone that they want more fair and just. Without regard to race. Now he says without regard to race and financial standing, but you're going to notice in the letter, it's all about Africans and poor people. But he says right here in the press release, it's not about race or financial standing. Really? On a promise, bring about positive change. Oh, I love positive change. Obama brought about 8 years of positive change. Almost destroyed the damn country. Justice system. This turn has begun to transform. His initiatives includes reducing mass incarceration and saving taxpayers' money. Look, when you hear government talking about saving taxpayers' money, you know right then and there it's a lie. They don't care about saving taxpayers' money. They care about getting more money from taxpayers. Using innovative approaches. Oh, innovative. That's such a nice word. Ooh, mass incarceration. Ooh, all these nice words. Alternatives. Rather than simply looking at people who have committed low-level offenses. Low-level offenses mean offensive that people who work and live in a community have to deal with. But people with money who live behind walls and high fences and who have private security guarding them, they don't have to deal with these low-level offenses. That's what that means. All these letters from the government are in code and are not a threat to the community, meaning not a threat to them. They don't care about the community. The policies that I have embarked upon this year at the first important step, moving forward and shifting priorities, treating people with fairness and dignity. Oh my God, I'm getting a warm fuzzy. It's giving me goosebumps. With keeping our community safe. Oh yeah, because we all know how they want to keep the community safe. They're so broke, they're saying they need 1,000 more police officers. That's how they're keeping the community safe. They're 1,000 officers down. And everyone knows that if we just double government and give them 2,000 officers, then we'll be safe. Really? District Attorney and his team has made impressive progress. Woo, impressive. Wow. I wonder who thought it was impressive. Oh, I'm sorry. The guy who wrote the letter. The guy who just got elected. He's the one that are using all these nice words. In the last 90 days, implemented reform in these areas. First-time misdemeanor marijuana possession. Ooh, new reform. THC possession. That sounds a lot like marijuana possession. Possession of trace amounts of drugs. That sounds like possession of all drugs. Drug possessions without laboratory report. Criminal trespass. Criminal trespass? Wonder who does that. Oh, would that be the criminal illegal aliens who are building in the streets and alleys and sidewalks and in people's yards and in the parks, costing the taxpayers millions? Yeah, that would be them. Theft of necessary items. Oh, so we're going to have reform on necessary items, but if it's not necessary, then we'll treat it as theft. Really? So if I think it's necessary, then theft's okay. And that's pretty much what he says. Driving without an invalid license. Oh, those poor people. Let's see. Those people without a license can't have insurance, can't buy a car, and can't get a driver's license. And since everyone else has to have mandatory insurance by the government, the people without a license don't have to have insurance because they don't have a car. They either borrow a car, or they steal a car, or they use someone else's car, and they're not covered. So when they have an accident, guess what? Your insurance goes up, your insurance pays, and it costs you money. But in the interest of fairness, we need to look at this. Misdemeanor pretrial diversion, probation, bail reform, and magistration. I'm not sure that magistration, I should have looked that up because he uses that word. All right, let's look at his complete letter because I sent. So this is the complete 5-page letter. Let's see. When I ran for DA, I promised that I would bring changes to the criminal justice system. Those changes stepping forward. Mass incarceration. Ooh, big words. My office has made tremendous strides. Wow. I wonder who judged that tremendous strides. Oh, he did, because he's writing a letter. Are people idiots? I mean, when they read this, do they not realize that when a DA does a press release, he does it to make himself look good? He doesn't do it to say my failures and how much money I'm costing you and how many of my... Oh, by the way, this DA fired 12 people that didn't support him as soon as he got first day in office. Fired 12 DAs. They're hurting so bad that he fired 12 because they didn't support him. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. First offense, marijuana. Although African American... Wait a minute. Didn't the other letter say without regard to race? Oh, we'll just forget that letter. Let's do it with this one. Although African Americans and people of other races, aka everyone but white people, use marijuana at simpler rates. He couldn't just say people use marijuana. We had to say African American and other races at similar rates in Dallas County. African Americans are 3 times more likely to be prosecuted for a misdemeanor than other people of other races. Really? You mean 3 times more people are arrested and they're African Americans, which means more African Americans are using and possessing drugs. That's what that means. It's written like the DA's office is out there only prosecuting African Americans. That's not true. After arrest, Damn, I thought we weren't going to talk about race, and I'm only 3 sentences in, and that's all we've talked about is African Americans. But Rick, he said it's not about race. Okay, I got it. African Americans are access money for bond at a higher rate. Now, I don't believe this. There is no way you're going to tell me in Dallas, the liberal left-wing city, that if 2 people come up for bond, if you're African American, we're going to charge you more than if you're not African American. I don't believe that for one stinking second. But again, when elected officials, DAs, Congress get to do press releases, they get to tell their side. They get to make themselves look like great human beings. Even though it's all freaking lies, it's not supported by one fact anywhere. Notice there's no reference this statute, reference this census. There's none of that. These are just blanket statements to make me look like I'm a good guy and I'm protecting Africans. Okay. Are assessed at a higher African Americans are more likely, there's that word again, I thought we weren't going to talk about it, are more likely to be convicted of marijuana possession once charged and more likely to serve jail sentences. Well, what he didn't say is if your possession is charged with marijuana and you've got a 14-page rap sheet with a bunch of other crimes, then you're going to get more jail sentence than someone who was arrested once or twice with marijuana. He doesn't say that, but that's exactly what it is. But let's move on. District Attorney, that's me. He doesn't say that, but that's him. He's writing a letter. Must take action at the end to end this disparity. I have declined to prosecute on misdemeanor possession of marijuana cases for the first-time offenders whose offense do not occur in drug-free zones. Okay, so let me explain what that means. If you get charged with possession of marijuana, he's not going to charge. So basically right now, if you don't have a first-time offense of possession of marijuana, go to Dallas. You can run around any open and smoke marijuana. You will not get charged. Now, He says that do not occur in drug-free zones. What this is a liberal way to make our sign zones more effective. Meaning we only enforce laws in our sign zones, drug-free, gun-free, violence-free. Any zone that the liberals decide to create in order to make you think that you're safer, they're only going to prosecute crimes in those areas. Guess what? Pretty much you're only going to be safer in those zones because those are the only people that aren't going to get prosecuted. It's just crazy. Okay, and if it doesn't involve exhibition of a deadly weapon. Well, if it involves exhibition of a deadly weapon, it's not a marijuana possession charge. It's a charge of exhibiting a deadly weapon. So this is playing on people's inability to recognize that these are totally different charges. But I digress. Let's stay on this kind letter that's going to make us all feel good, warm, and fuzzy. Okay, after the first offense, people will be offered a program. Now, this is liberal left, right out of the playbook of liberal left New York and California. They want programs for everything because you know what programs mean? More money. You get more money for programs. You have to staff more money. You have to hire more prosecutors to monitor the programs to make sure people are complying and completing, and then during warrants when they fail the program and don't go. Because everyone knows the people who are out here committing non-first-time offenses with marijuana and exhibiting weapons are really good citizens that probably will never do this again. So if we just get them in a program, we'll make you safe. Oh my God, this letter just is absolutely outrageous. If successfully pleaded, will keep their record clear. I am also in the process of dismissing all pending misdemeanor marijuana cases filed before I took office. Dude, everybody in Dallas just hit the lotto with their charges. He's going to dismiss every officer that took the time to arrest, book, test, make a file, do a report, thousands of man hours of work. This new DA, in the name of social justice, is going to dismiss all those cases. Guess what? Guess who's paying for that? You big dummy. You taxpayers that voted for him. Unfortunately, the people voting for people like this aren't usually taxpayers. They're the sanctuary city residents. Those are the ones who elect this. According to the new policy stated above, to date, I have dismissed over 1,000 misdemeanor. Wow, this guy is so great. He dismissed 1,000 misdemeanor. All you cops out there, and I watched this happen. When I was working in the DA, Sacramento DA did the same thing. They put out a letter and said, we ain't stop arresting people for marijuana and stop arresting them for low quantities of meth because we ain't prosecuting. You know what cops did when we caught people with meth and marijuana? We threw it on the ground and said, have a nice day. And guess what? Meth use went up. Drugs went up. Buying went up. Selling went up. More people. Ease of access. No, Rick, that didn't happen. That's a good thing. This guy's doing a good thing, Rick. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. THC possession, same thing. Unless a deadly weapon. Again, additional crimes. Doing drugs in a drug-free zone is a different charge than just possessing. But he makes it look like it's the same charge. Trace amounts of drug. No person will be prosecuted possessing less than 1 gram, 0.01 gram of drugs. Now, this, he might have me. Because a lot of cops will arrest people and they'll have powder residue in a bag. Now, I agree that maybe he shouldn't be prosecuted and taxpayers shouldn't spend a whole lot of money on 0.01 gram of drugs. But normally when cops put the time to arrest people like that, there's other things involved. He's got several empty bags. He's a user. He was stealing. He was committing theft. He was writing hot checks in order to support his drug habit. And now that we got a case on him and we found him, we have him with possession because he has it. And the DA says, no. Less than 1 gram, we're not prosecuting. Okay, great. Let's just let everybody go. And you know what? People think, well, just 1 gram, that's not enough. That's not what's going to happen. Cops are going to be, if you got anything, we're not messing with it. Unless it's a pound. Unless we're sure that the lazy DA isn't going to try to dismiss our work. Why the hell do we want to bust our butt and try to arrest and book all this? It's not going to happen. But that's all right. Dallas will be safer because of this great, warm, fuzzy letter. Drug possession cases without laboratory reports. If you're prosecuting cases without a lab report, well, then you're an idiot in the first place. But let's see. Testing my office. is returning cases until the laboratory report is completed. I don't have a problem with that. That should have been standard procedure anyway. People who were doing that before were idiots anyway. Criminal trespass. You know why they were doing it without a test? They were hoping somebody would cut a plea and they would get a conviction and they would raise their conviction rate without ever testing the dope. And if the guy had a decent DA or defense attorney, he'd say, we ain't doing nothing until the tests come back. But whatever. Criminal trespass. This is huge. Right now, our county jail is the largest mental health provider in the county. Not just your county jail, it's every county jail. Mental health is a big problem. But letting mental health people out to prey on the public who are paying taxes expecting you to keep them safe and prosecute criminals is not the answer. But it is the answer in this letter because he's making it sound nice. Let's see how we can make this up. However, the jail is not a suitable place for mentally ill and homeless. Aw, it's not? Well, where is a suitable place? How about in your front yard when you pitch a tent and when you call the cops, the cop go, you know what? DA ain't prosecuting trespassing. So this person can go ahead and pitch a tent in your yard. Yeah, I know it's your property. I know you pay property taxes. I know it bothers you, but guess what? And I also know it's against the law, but guess what? As a cop, I ain't arresting him because the DA ain't prosecuting him so he can live in your yard. Deal with it. You know what? Just pay your taxes and shut up, you dumb citizen. Those who are often charged with misdemeanor criminal past arrests, whose only crime, it's their only crime, is not having a place to go. Dallas Sanctuary City, letting all the illegals move in. It's such a great place to live. Let's everybody just go there and pitch a tent in everybody's yard and raise the property taxes so we can have tents in our yard from illegals. Are you freaking kidding me? Around 90% of homeless individuals charged with trespass receive an average jail sentence of 33 days. Well, you got to do something with them, but your answer is just to let them back out on the public. Okay. Until they commit some other crime. Until a homeowner tries to get them to leave, he pulls a knife, the homeowner shoots him, and then you'll have the money to charge the homeowner for shooting somebody on his property. Yeah, you'll have the money for that. I'm telling you, liberal left is a freaking mental disorder. It's a disease, and it is infecting this whole country, and people better wake up. These prosecutions are ineffective and inhumane to the approach of dealing. Yeah, it's inhumane. We shouldn't have walls. Let everybody in. Homeless and mental. And yet, in 2015, Dallas County spent $11 million to incarcerate those charged with trespass, not including the costs and resources required to prosecute those cases. Well, guess what? That's what your budget is for. That's what your job is. You're a prosecutor. You're crying about prosecuting cases, and that's your freaking job. Unbelievable. To the end, I have instructed to dismiss all misdemeanor criminal trespass cases that do not involve a residence or physical intrusion into property. Okay, so I didn't read the resident part. So he can't pitch a tent in your yard. He can only pitch it in front of your your business, or on your street, or on your sidewalk. But he can't be in your yard. Thanks, DA. Man, this DA is doing a great job. He's keeping the tents out of my yard. Okay, all pending criminal trespasses cases meeting these guidelines will be dismissed. Hit the lottery. Anybody who had criminal trespass in Dallas is like, yeehaw! All right, with appropriate, be referred to outpatient. When appropriate, will be referred to outpatient. Outpatient means no care. Mental health services. Mental health services is, hey, as long as you're an outpatient, we don't care what you do. Okay, I urge Dallas County and its municipalities to use the savings to provide affordable housing and mental health. Affordable housing. You know what that means? That means taxpayers should buy and pay for housing of illegals and people who don't want to work and who... Now, I know somebody's going to come here, hey, Rick, I'm homeless. I was down on my job. I used to work. I had all... And they'll have a whole list of things on why they're homeless. And some people who were homeless aren't homeless now. But the majority of homeless want to be homeless. They enjoy being homeless. They make a lot of money on the streets. They don't have to put up with landlords' rules or anybody's opinions. They can live how they want. So there's a lot of empowerment in being homeless. Health services and vulnerable population. Theft of necessary items. This is great. Everyone go to Walmart right now. Study after study shows one arrest, jail, convicted people, non-violent crimes commit out of necessity. So all these studies that he didn't list mean that non-violent crimes committed out of necessity, we only prevent that person from gaining the Stability necessary to lead law-abiding life. Criminalizing poverty. Oh, that sounds so nice. He's such a good guy. He means to do so well. Yeah, because he's not spending his money. He's spending taxpayers' money. He's putting taxpayers in jeopardy. That's why it sounds good. Criminalizing poverty. Oh, is counterproductive to our community's health and safety. Really? How about decriminalizing crime is hazardous to the health and safety of the community? For that reason, this office will not prosecute theft of personal items less than $750. Are you freaking kidding me? Look, everybody, if you're visiting Dallas, please go to the grocery store and have a free grocery cart on me. Fill it up with meat, groceries, everything you want, the highest price wines, everything you can get in that basket. Make sure you don't go over the $750 and walk out the store free of charge and tell them Rick sent you courtesy of the Dallas DA. Unfreaking believable. You know how this is going to... Look, people don't understand how criminals think. Once criminals learn that I can steal up to $700 and not get charged, guess what the end result is? Crime goes up. And people, well, people will just have to hire security and they'll have to stop them so they can't. Look, you can't hire enough security. They used to do strong arm robberies all the time. And you'd have 10, 15 people walk in a store. Every one of them, I say people because I don't want to get in a race like he did in his letter. But you have 10, 15 people walk in a store and every one of them grabs a case of beer and walks out. And you know what the store owner does? Nothing. He calls the police, he reports it to his insurance, and then they raise the prices on the people that pay for beer on the next time. Because you can't stop when crime is out of control. This guy just declared open season for $700 theft, as long as it's personal items. And personal items are not defined. So anything that I want to eat, medication, shampoo, toothpaste, mouthwash, all the things that you and me have to pay for, in Dallas is free. And you won't get prosecuted. Oh man, this DA is such a good guy. Wow. Driving while a suspended license. Prosecuting a person while driving while the license is suspended is often just prosecuting a person for being poor. No, it's not. It's prosecuting a person for being irresponsible, not getting his license, not being able to buy a car, not being able to maintain a car, not being able to have insurance like you, the government, has required all of us hard-working taxpayers. We have to have insurance. We have to have a license. We have to comply with all the rules, which cost us a lot of money. And now you're making it easy for those who don't have money, that they don't have to apply by the same rules. Man, you talk about a lawless... They just went Wild Wild West in Dallas. It's pretty much, hey, $750 of goods. You don't need a freaking license. You can trespass and pitch a tent anywhere. Man, Dallas is the new criminal hotspot. Look, I'm going to offer some homeless in another state. I will pay your one-way plane ticket or bus fare to Dallas. Make a comment. Give me some way to send you the money. I will buy one homeless, my contribution to Dallas, and you can go live $750, no charge. You don't have to have a license. You can drive around, and you can pitch your tent anywhere. Unfreaking believable. For those people, misdemeanor pretrial diversion, I don't have a problem with that. For people who committed civil pretrial diversion program, dismiss it and expunge the arrest, I'm okay with that. Well, I mean, the system is kind of crazy about promoting the system. See, if these things really work, he's going to lose money and he'll lose DAs because he won't have enough crime. Anybody believe that's going to happen? Anybody believe that this letter is going to do so good for the community that crime's going to fall so much that this DA is going to have less crimes to prosecute and he'll have to end up letting some DAs go and save the taxpayers money because he won't need as many DAs? If there's any idiot out there with one brain cell that believes that, I know you voted for Obama and Hillary. Probation. Probation is really indeed an altercation. When people are kept on probation longer than it should be, the system is overtaxed. With supervision and rehabilitation becomes almost impossible. Our community is not made safer in the longer probation periods. So, he's changed probations to where misdemeanors, you get pretty much a 6-month probation. Felonies, you get 180 days probation. Second degree and third degree felonies, you get 2 years probation. And first degree felonies, first degree would be like if I kill you. I can get 5 years probation. Ooh, man, this DA, He's a good guy. Okay, hang on, he's not finished. He's going to fix all the problems first day in office. The county's money bail system has to be reformed. Our current system is physical safety, fairness, people not pose a dental danger, blah, 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 $400 in a job, stability, housing, cannot take care of their children. Well, wait a minute. If somebody has children and they're out there getting arrested and they can't afford bond, maybe we shouldn't make it easier for them to stay at home and have freaking more children. Rick, that's not fair. We just need to be fair and loving, and Rick, you're being mean. Okay, whatever. My own moral compass. Well, you know what? Dallas, you elected this guy. I hope he stops prosecuting all crime. I hope he lets everybody go. I hope he says, you know what? All my DAs are taking a month off. All the judges are taking a month off. And we're going to go party in the Bahamas. And you know what? It'll probably save us money in the long run because we won't be paying their lazy butts in there to do nothing and let people go and dismiss cases. But I digress. I am proposing an approach that makes public safety. Ooh, that's such a good word. I always feel safe when I hear government talk about public safety. Not wealth determining factors. The policy articulated below ensures that those who pose a risk can return to their communities. Oh, okay. I don't have a problem with that. Letting somebody out there not a risk. I don't even think you ought to be booked in jail if you're not a violent crime. I mean, the jail's full. I would say nobody gets arrested for any crime unless it's violent and they're a threat to community. Otherwise, they get cited on the spot and they're given a court date. If they don't make the court date, we put out a warrant with the other million warrants that are in the system, and we'll pick them up whenever. Why are we filling up the jail and making them lose their jobs? I'm kind of with him here, but he didn't say it as strong as I would. I think arresting people for nonviolent crimes is BS. You shouldn't have to worry about going to jail for nonviolent, having your kids taken away and your car towed and all that crap. But I digress. Somebody's going to be calling me a liberal because I'm not wanting to shoot people for freaking parking violations. Since our justice cannot depend on whether an individual can afford to buy their freedom. Well, that's kind of exactly what our justice system is. You have to pay fines. You have to make restitution. It has to cost you something for violating societal rules. That's exactly what our system is. No, Rick, not in Dallas. It can't be that. Okay, I got it. According to my office, that means him, he's writing a letter. Notice how he does all this third-party wiggly whoop, kind of confusing the people that aren't paying attention. My office will adopt the following guidelines when recommending bail amounts. Misdemeanors, without pretrial, it sounds like no bail. So these, they're not, I don't know what he's doing here. He didn't put numbers. Danger to the community, victim arrest, the risk assessment shall be used to determine specific will protect community members, not the determinant of release. Valid reasons for believing someone is a flight risk. Direct threats to the victim during or after. Okay, if you don't want to go to jail, don't do that. Prior convictions of violence committed against the same person. So you can commit violence against people, just don't do it to the same person. Otherwise, you're going to fall in this area. This ought to be a criminal education thing. Somebody forward this to my criminal email list. More than 2 failures to appear. So remember, if you're going to fail to appear, only do it once. If you do it more than 2, then you fall in this category. In 2 years. After 2 years, you can do it more than 2. All other cases recommended based on arrest assessment while this tool is used will be disposed rather than a guide for developing probate conditions, prosecutor. Okay. Monetary conditions should never be requested by a prosecutor unless there has first been ability to pay determination. Okay, this is a key sentence here. I know I'm at 28 minutes. This is key. Monetary conditions should never be requested by a prosecutor. Oh, really? Wait a minute. Unless there has first been an ability to pay. You know what that means? That means if you, tax-paying, has a job, has a family, has a home, pays their rent, has a car with insurance, has a valid license, that means you have to pay. But if you don't do all that, then you don't have to pay. That's what liberals do. They make evil good. They make good evil. They promote bad behavior and they condemn good behavior. Liberals are the freaking bizarro world of a good society. That's why they hate America so much. It's the exact opposite of what they want. They want Venezuela. They want North Korea. They want China. They do not want America. That's why they hate it so much. Man, I'm telling you. All right. Assigned prosecution case results recommended. My hope is that soon there will also be defense lawyers in magistration. I'm not sure how he's using that term. And that the appointed time prosecutors can take an active role in the bail policy into reality. Sincerely, John. John, you're the new DA, dude. What a great letter. I feel all warm and fuzzy. All you residents of Dallas, please post this letter on your refrigerator to remind you time to time why you're working, why you're paying for your food. Why are you paying for a home when you could live anywhere for free? You could live on other people's property. Just pitch a tent in Walmart. Hey, it's not a residence. All right, 30 minutes. I cannot believe this policy. I can't believe this letter. And supposedly, people are saying in Chicago, DA did the same thing, except instead of $750, he made his $1,000. So you can steal up to $1,000 in Chicago. Let me get this straight. It's not about race. It's not about money. But if you can pay, you have to pay. And if you're African-American people with marijuana, that seems to be a problem with him. But it's not about color. It's not about money. Okay, I got it. Everybody keep up with the bouncing ball because it moves quick. We'll end that there.